Alright, so what's up everybody on YouTube? My name is Drew, and I'm going to show you how to prototype or design your own sneaker from scratch, starting with an outsole. So for the outsole, you can grab it from Alibaba, ask them for a sample. They'll probably give you a nice little cheap rate. That's what I've been doing up until this point, but we're going to start off with ideating a sneaker. So it's not about the design in this term, it's just going to be about figuring out a pattern, establishing it, seeing the process, and then from there maybe you can come up with your own designs, get them prototyped, and it'll help you on the process of getting things made, just understanding how they are made. So yeah, we're going to start off with this shoe, a little quick sketch. So the next phase is going to be taping up your last. So I had the to-do list showing there, so if you could pause it there and then go back. But what you're going to do with the last is you're going to take painter's tape and you're going to tape up the entire last, and then we're going to find out our pattern off that. We're going to take a Sharpie after we tape it up and get it down. So the last you can purchase from multiple sources. I can put it on in the description. I'll also leave if I continue doing these videos, depending on how the reception will be, I can make some 3D models for outsoles and last that will go pairs, and then you can just purchase them, send them to a 3D factory, and they can get them printed to you and you can get on your way. So back to this, you're gonna see that we have to break the design into two parts. So think of them as layers. The white layer is gonna be on its own, and then the black is gonna be on its own. So you're gonna have to tape up this last twice. So what's gonna happen, you're gonna take a Sharpie and you're gonna find out the pattern that can establish your design. Sorry. And then we're going to end up carving those out and laying them down and transferring that over to fabric. But first, we're gonna have to take a look at a couple things. When you're marking down your shoe pattern, you wanna be aware of the complex curves that occur. So if the last curves in two separate places, you're gonna have issues in terms of laying down a flat piece of tape because it's gonna bubble, and you're gonna have issues in terms of laying something that's flat down after you've taken it off of something that's curved. So that's where you understand how a shoe is made in terms of panels and the separations of those pieces, is that so it's able to get a pattern out of it. So you'll pretty much see that in terms of when I'm cutting them out, how they're layered down in panels. Right here, I'm just figuring out the type of design that I want to cut out. And right now I'm just laying down all the tape that's just bubbling up or just wasn't laying super flat. And then I'm going to mark down the rest of the parts where the panels will then emerge from. So as I said, after you lay down the panels on the last, you want to take an X-Acto knife and carve them out, as I'm doing here. And then you want to lay those parts down onto a separate piece of paper. So you'll see what I mean in terms of the complex curves, but also here I'm taking off all the excess tape that will be around the bottom, and we're going to add a more consistent measurement throughout it. So here you can see I kind of cut out the complex curvedness of it and just to lay it down, and then I'm going to add the fabric and that'll all be fixed. So you can see here I did my second layer after laying down all those panels, and I'm getting the second layer as well as the tongue completed on the second layer. Now with the inch extra that we've added, we can then clean up some of it that's bunched after it's glued down and ready, just to get it so that it's more of a flat surface when we add the outsole to it. Making sure that we don't snip anything that will be visible. And then we want to secure the bottom of the shoe to the outsole, tucking in any excess fabric and trying to get it as smooth as possible. So with the last still being in there, you're not going to be able to reach maybe every edge. So once the last comes out, you can then reach your hand in there and just tuck it, hitting the fabric to the every edge of the outsole so that there's no gap, and just being able to clean it in after. So you can see right now I'm just reaching my hand in and just cleaning and getting every edge to the, meeting every edge between the fabric and the outsole. And after that, you could pretty much add grommets as eyelets and add your lace and figuring out what to do next. But that's pretty much it for this tutorial. Let me know what you think. Leave a thumbs up. I want to know your feedback, and we can make some real shoe designs later on if you guys are, if the response to this is really good. So thank you for coming.